My name is Logan England. I am a senior computer and information science major at Berea College. Today I will be talking about my internship with Runestone Academy.
So tell me about your internship.
So for my internship, I and about 7 or 8 other students and our supervisor, Dr. Jan Pierce, we worked collaboratively on digital textbooks hosted by Runestone Academy. Runestone Academy hosts these digital textbooks for free and kind of acts as an open source platform for publishing textbooks, creating textbooks, and maintaining textbooks. And that's kind of just what we were doing for our internship with the company.
What is the most important technical thing you learned during your internship?
So the most technical thing we did, probably the best technical skill I learned was Git workflow. Now we use Git workflow heavily in the computer science department at Berea College. However, I feel like this internship really cemented using it to the point that it almost feels like muscle memory at this point. In the early part of the internship, there was a lot of mistakes made. We would do things like override each other's work and wouldn't use the proper branching techniques, things like that. But as we got closer to the end, we had really kind of mastered making branches and pull requests and just working collaboratively, even in the same parts of the projects. And this led to really efficient work, and I think this is all things that I can carry over to future jobs and will come in handy in the future.
What is the most important non-technical thing you learned during your internship?
The most important non-technical thing I learned during this internship was definitely communication. I mean, granted, I had communication skills going into it, and every job to some degree requires communication skills. But I think with this job specifically, there was kind of an extra layer of it. First was the aspect of it that you'd see in a lot of other jobs. There was, just communication between team members. We had to do things like make sure we knew what we were doing, kind of discuss features and get the same goals in mind as we work collaboratively on each project. This also included things like communicating with our supervisor, asking her what to do, just letting her know what we were working on. If we needed to miss things like that, we needed to communicate those things as well. The extra sort of unexpected layer of communication with this was the aspect of writing the textbooks themselves. I and several other students actually contributed new sections and even whole paragraphs to these textbooks, and these are college textbooks on topics in computer science such as complexity, data science, computer security. And when we were working on these, we really had to think carefully about how we were going to communicate these ideas and make it clear in the textbook for students that may not have the same experience level we do. So not only do we have to really learn in depth the topics we were covering in these sections and chapters, but we had to really, really think about and put ourselves in the shoes of whoever the reader might be, who the audience might be. And I think that's a skill that'll come in very handy in the future.
Explain what you feel most proud of that you accomplished during your internship and why you are proud of this accomplishment.
So the thing I'm most proud of with this internship was the chapter I contributed. This was in a book called Java for Python Programmers. And basically in this chapter, it was all about file handling, reading files, writing to files. I think the biggest thing I didn't expect was how much work it would take. I think I spent around a week working on this particular chapter, and then I handed it off to 2 other programmers who kind of refined it and, caught mistakes that I didn't catch. It's always good to have at least one other set of eyes on things like that. And then after those programmers signed off from the internship, I looked over it again and kind of made some final changes. And, the whole time Dr. Jan, our supervisor, was kind of looking through it and making sure, everything was right and checking it for errors as well. It was a lot of work, but in a way means I co-authored a part of a college textbook, and I think that'll be a good thing a good set of skills going forward, whatever job I get.
What are your thoughts on remote work? Would you consider remote work for a long-term career?
So yes, this was a remote internship. I I've worked remote before taking this internship, and I've never really liked it. I like the aspect of not having to commute, not having to. There's not as much work in getting ready and getting to work as there is with an on-site internship. But at the same time, there's like the mental aspects of working in the same place that you sleep, and sometimes you can kind of feel like a shut-in, especially because this is a computer job. It's not like I can take my whole computer desk and go outside. I think my ideal job would be a job that's hybrid. Maybe I work 2 days a week, or I work on site 2 days a week, and I'm remote the rest of the week. And because I live in a rural area, I plan to stay kind of in this area after I graduate. I might have to take remote work just because there's not a lot of software development jobs in eastern Kentucky or even central Kentucky until you get into Lexington. So it's not completely off the table, but yeah, I would prefer to work on site if possible. All right, thank you. That'll be all for today.